well. Right, the next stage, I have to say, I'm scared at doing this because when I do this live as part of my classes, I normally get the most, really? That looks so wrong. So doing it on a video is going to be hard with no reaction, but I've put it into the sheet. So children, at this stage, they've got all the building blocks, but they're still very much using their mental arithmetic to do maths. And indeed, the 63 minus 29, a child might be able to do that in their head. That is what we want them to be able to do. We're giving them all these building blocks to do and aid mental arithmetic. Their mental arithmetic is much better and they have got a bigger capacity to do it than we have because they're actively using it daily. But there is a transition from all of this into formal columnar, but it goes through a stage of what they call informal written methods. So this is basically, you have to think about this is jotting down what is going on in a child's mind. I know, weird concept. But you have to understand that children are given options to figure out what suits them and what works for them, but they have to go through all those stages. So they will at some point have used most of these methods as part of a learning in their curriculum. Excuse me, it's going cold. So then they get to the stage where they have got the capacity, they've got all the knowledge and they've got their nice way of doing it, and they use pen and paper because it's getting a little bit too complex to hold things in their head. So there's ways in which to do it that look completely weird to us. Indeed, in some cases, I've had parents say, ooh, my child was doing that, and I told them there was drawing on their homework. So the first thing to do is blank number lines. So 158 plus missing box equals 293. A child, and this is the example I use in my workbook, so you know. So a child might do this, yeah, and know that I need to know what I'm adding to that to get that. So I'm going to count up, and I'm going to use a blank number line. So I'm going to start at 158, and I know I can go up one jump, which is plus 100, and that gets me to 258. Okay, and then I can't do another 100, I haven't got enough, so then I'm going to go up 58, 68, 78, 88, so I've now got 288, that's plus 30, 3 tens, and then I'm going to go up in ones, so from 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 293, and that is plus 5 ones, okay? And that's how they may do it using the number line. Okay, now that makes sense if there's numbers written on it, but some children might be able to do the numbers in their head. And what you might see is that. And that looks nothing like the maths I know, but that is maths. So they know that that's 100, 3 tens, and 5 ones, and they can put that together in their head. Okay. The next example I'm going to show you looks like this. Now it looks 83. Oh, sorry. 83 plus 42. Now it looks like I've lined up for columnar addition until you see the child doing this. And you might be inclined to tell them that that's wrong, but it's not. What they're doing is they're adding the hundreds together. Then they add the tens together, so they add 80 and 40, and they get 120. They add the 1s, 2 and 3 to get 5, and then they put their number back together again, so they've got 5 1s, 2 tens, and 8 hundreds. Okay? Again, it looks wrong to you, but this is what they're doing. They're doing partitioning and adding together, but in a column, what looks like a columnar format, but they're not doing columnar addition just yet. Okay, the other thing that they might do, so 7, 5, 4 plus 86. What they might do here is they might decide that 86 is a bit hard to work in my head, but 100's easy, and I know that 86 is 100 minus 14, so I might add on 100 and get 854, and then subtract 14, which is 840. Just checking that I was getting the maths right. That'd be very, very embarrassing. But I've done it, so don't worry. But there you go. So again, not intuitive for us, but a child might see it like that. Okay, the last one to show you on the addition front that you might see is this idea. Again, it looks like columnar, but what you see is this. So 3 and 8 is 11. Now, if you saw a child starting like that, you'd be going, no, 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 that's wrong. But it is right. What they're doing is they're adding the ones together, then they're going to add the tens together, and they're going to get 120. Then they're going to add their hundreds together and get 300. And then they're going to put the number back together. Yeah? Okay? Again, I can sense some of you going, ah! But remember, this is mental jotting down of what they're doing in their head. Okay? Right, so the other way, there is another way of doing subtraction, which is by addition. So 754 minus 86. Okay, so if you worked in a shop when you were younger and you didn't have tills or whatever, you had to work out change, and quite often the method that we used was to count up. So you took the amount that the total was and you counted up to the whatever coin or note that they gave you. This is kind of what this is. So instead of subtracting, what I do is I go, well, if I add 4, that gets me to 90. If I add 10, that gets me to 100. Then if I add 600, that gets me to 700. Then if I add 50, that gets me to 750. And then add 4, that gets me to 754. And then what I do is I put my number back together. It's very similar to what would be the number line type method where I'm adding on. Okay? Again, these are all in the notes. The compensation method that we talked about before, where we did the 100, 86 being 100, you can do it in the reverse way as well. And then the last one is, we call it decomposition, but it's just, it really is partitioning, but just written in linear format. So 754, yeah, minus 86. So in lines we go 700 plus 50 plus 4 minus 80. Sorry, put that place value, Karen, place value. 80 plus 6. Okay, so what I identify straight away is I can't do that because I haven't got enough ones. So what I do is, I could just stroke it out and exchange it, but what I do is I rewrite it. So I write 700 plus, I'm going to give one of my 10s over here to 10 ones. I'm going to exchange, so I'm going to put 40 plus 14. And then I've got 80 plus 6. So now I can do my ones, but now I look at my 10s and go, ooh, I can't do my 10s. So again, I need to exchange one of my 100s for 10 10s. So I'll rewrite that as 600 plus 140 plus 14. And then I've got 80 plus 6. And now I can do, I can do the subtraction. So I can take 6 from 14 and I get 8. I can take 80 from 140 and I get 60. And I can take nothing from 600 and I get 600. And then I put my number back together as 668. Okay? Again, this is a written out version of that kind of decomposition. It's partitioning, but done on levels. And again, it makes complete sense to the child who's building it up. You'll be pleased to know that after that, and I should point out, some of your children will never do any of this, but if they do, that's what they're doing. And also, it gives you a way of checking work as an alternative way if you get it. But that is all the stages you get in the run-up to what we know and love is formal columnar addition. And that is when we have the example 6, 7, 2 plus 5, 3, 5. Okay, 2 lines. Okay, 5 and 2 make 7. 3 and 7 make 10. I put my 0 there. I put my 1 underneath the line. So then I know that it's there. I need to add it. I have my hundreds. 5 and 6 is 11. Plus my extra 1 is 12. Okay? We need to make sure that we line up ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, so that we line up our columns accurately in place value. That is the most important thing. So hopefully that is familiar to you and you suddenly are breathing again going, I get maths. That's great, this is year 3. So up until that point, don't do this. Okay, so that's addition. Subtraction, 7, 2, 8, minus 4, 8, 5, in 2 lines. Right, subtraction, this is how we do it. 5 from 8 is 3. Okay, take away 5 from 8, I get 3. Take away 8 from 2, I cannot do. I have to exchange one of my hundreds for 10 tens. The word is exchange, not borrow, exchange. Our generation learned to borrow and never give back. I'll leave that one with you. So it's exchange. So we exchange one of our hundreds for 10 tens. Now we have 12 minus 8 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay? Exchange. That's the only word that you use. Hey, that's addition and subtraction done. It's a long video, but the problem with this one is you need to get it right, because this causes the most stress between parents and children when children know what they're doing and parents haven't a clue what they're doing, and that is the fact. Maths is taught in a better way because it gives us building blocks to understand things, understand what they're doing. And that is why the disparity, because we were never taught this way. We don't really have the underpinning understanding of what we're doing, and therefore when our child asks why, you go, I'm not really sure. So hopefully now you have the building blocks, or you at least have seen the building blocks to understand that the way they do it, the methods they use are correct. I put the analogy in here. Maths hasn't changed. You still start with the same question and you get the same answer. Hopefully. No, you do get the same answer. But we as a generation, we were told to get into the car and drive the direct route. And when we said, but we can't drive, the teacher went, just practice, you'll get there. But what do? You'll figure it out. And that's what we did do. We figured out the methodology, we followed a methodology, and eventually it worked, so we just kept repeating it. Our children start with the same question and ultimately get the same answer, but they're told, choose whatever mode of transport you want. Go on a scooter, go on a bike, take the long way, go the scenic route. They get to use all of these tools, all of these different methods to find out what works for them, to find out and develop their understanding. And then at some point, they go, I get all this, I think I'm ready to drive. And when they do drive, they know what they're doing, but they're also backed up by different methodologies. So if they do get stuck, there is another way they can check, another way to do it, and that is empowering a child. Okay, there's not just one way to do things, there is multiple ways of doing things, and we know as a human race that we all like to do things differently, except when you're in lockdown, we're all doing the same thing today, staying at home. So, you know, it is powerful that the way that we teach children today is giving them the building blocks of understanding, and that can be built on. So please support them. If you have any questions, any queries, something I've said today does not make sense, do get in contact. This booklet will be going live, which is the Maths Mum Explains Addition and Subtraction, and I've got 2 more booklets hopefully that will come out in the next couple of days, one on addition and one on subtraction. They're just basically, you know, doing sums, but hey, they explain on a year-by-year basis how you would want to do it. So do it one method, check using another method. Okay, I think I'm done for today.